I want to recommend this game because I love Rooster Teeth, but I can't recommend the game in its current state. But it clearly has a lot of love and effort put into it. I'll recommend it for now. Wait, you said you can't... Wait, what? I want to recommend this game because I love Rooster Teeth, but I can't recommend this game in its current state. I'll recommend it for now. Well, there you go. It's the kind of person who will support Rooster Teeth. This person literally says they love giving Rooster Teeth their money. And, well, you can, make your own opinion on this person. I can't recommend this game in its current state, but it's clearly got a lot of love and effort put into it. I'll recommend it for now. I can't recommend this game. I'll recommend it for now. Okay, moving on. It's now been a few weeks since Rooster Teeth decided to raise the prices of their first membership in ranges from 20 to 200%, depending on what your original price was and the tier that you subscribed for, whether it's a month, 6 months, or 12 months. The backlash has been immense, and even still, people are complaining about it. That will be covered in a follow-up video. We'll be looking at the complaints that Rooster Teeth is still getting and seemingly ignoring, and that is one complaint that the people are bringing to the table more and more. Why is Rooster Teeth silent about this issue, even though it's been a few weeks? The complaints are still coming out on a regular basis. Like I said, we'll tackle that in another video, though. In this video, let's focus on Rooster Teeth's new game, Vicious Circle. It's relative to the price increase, which is why I mentioned that in this video, because certain tiers of their first membership and apparently also grandfathered members are getting a copy of that game. Is that a good perk for the money that they ask? Let's take a look at some comments. And is the game fun? Let's take a look at some reviews. And to be fair, there are some good reviews. We'll be taking a look at both in this video. I'll see you in just a moment. What is Vicious Circle? Vicious Circle is developed and published by Rooster Teeth Games, released on August 13th of 2019. Vicious Circle is an on-cooperative multiplayer shooter in which mercenaries compete for loot against a terrifying monster. Dirty tricks are the key to victory, and only one player can come out on top. So the interesting mechanic, or the interesting concept behind this game, is the mechanic of on-cooperative multiplayer interactions rather than cooperative interactions. So there's that little bit of a unique flair, I guess, that they're going for. Let's take a look at some more information, and then we'll get into the reviews. So how do you get Vicious Circle? Well, you can either buy it in the Steam store for $19.99 USD, or alternatively, if you're a first member and you sign up for 12 months of membership, you get a free copy of Vicious Circle for the PC. Or if you get Rooster Teeth First Plus, you also get a free copy of Vicious Circle. Now, of course, the 12-month plan for regular first membership, as you can see, $59.99, the new price, risen from $35.99. That's part of the reason why people are unhappy, but there's a number of reasons why they are complaining about the price increase, from the price itself to the lack of content, etc. Or for $120 for 12 months of First Plus, you also get Vicious Circle. Is it worth it to go with the RT plan if you just want the game? Up to you to decide that. Weigh the pros and cons, look at the features that you would get, and of course, see if the game even looks interesting to you. You'll like the next part of this video. We're going to dive into what people are saying about this game, people who have played the game. Before we take a look at the reviews, I got a little ahead of myself. I have something else really interesting to show you guys. This is an email that was generously sent to me by a first member who had previously been grandfathered into the pricing structure that they previously outlined, that they now are changing, as you know. But this person reached out to me and sent me a copy of their email from Rooster Teeth, and they were so kind they even gave me a copy of the key to Vicious Circle, saying they didn't want it. I haven't used it yet, full disclaimer. I don't know if I will. Maybe. But you know who you are who sent this to me. Thank you. I don't want to give your name out for obvious reasons, but thank you so much. So here's what the email says. As one of our valued grandfathered first members, you are receiving a free copy of Vicious Circle from Rooster Teeth Games. Below is a personalized, single-use code that will unlock the game for you on Steam. Please follow these instructions. We're not going to do all that. Have fun. Code valid for one copy of Vicious Circle for PC purchased on Steam. Cannot be combined with other discounts or offers. Cannot be applied to previous purchases. There you go. We're going to move into the review segment of this video now, and who better to start with than the sender of this email? Now, of course, this is going to be not a review of Vicious Circle. This person didn't play the game, but this person does have some feedback for Rooster Teeth. So we're going to start with their general feedback for Rooster Teeth and this whole situation, and then we're going to go into the reviews for Vicious Circle on Steam. So I'm not going to read the full email, of course, but some of the information I think you should definitely hear, and Rooster Teeth should as well. The sender writes, in the announcement of the first price increase, they said they will give grandfathered members a free copy of Vicious Circle. Yesterday, I received it. They started the email with, quote, as one of our valued grandfathered first members, unquote. Sender then writes, but I find it quite surprising there isn't more PR talk, an apology, or further comment or clarification. It's a 3 times price increase, and all we got was a Steam key to a game that, as a game dev, I don't like to be rude to other devs, but nobody asked for, and nobody really seems to care for. I think this proves they don't care about how many loyal paying fans they lose, which is stupid from a business standpoint, but also from a creator and a community standpoint. I agree. And the complaints or concerns, the comments from the sender are very similar to what I'm seeing people are complaining about generally on the Rooster Teeth forum/posts as well. Again, as I said in the beginning of this video, the complaints are still coming in. Rooster Teeth still seems to be completely silent. Rooster Teeth, by the way, did also release a roadmap for Vicious Circle. As you can see, here's for seasons 1 through 2. Season 1 free, Season 2 free, apparently free Battle Pass, whatever that means. Season 1 Battle Pass, you get 80 plus exclusive items and some free updates for 3 new events and a gadget. Season 2 doesn't talk about the Battle Pass, I don't think, but this is kind of weird. I don't know, roadmaps are always kind of weird to me when they come out from gaming companies like this. They're formatted strange, and sometimes they don't even follow their own roadmaps, blah, blah, blah. Season 2, new map, new monster, new mercenary, new gadgets, new events, some other stuff. And what's interesting is the timing. It says late August through October, which is the latter part of Q3 through Q4 2019. I'm just curious why they said late August and October and then went to quarterly, like a quarterly format there. Maybe they should have put late Q3 to Q4. I don't know. That would have been a little bit more consistent, but whatever. Jumping right into the reviews now, and I want to actually start with a positive review. I thought that would seem pretty unbiased to do. So that's what we're going to do. So I pulled up the top positive review that was on Steam there. 88 people found this review helpful. 5 people found it funny. Positive review. And here we go. We're going to skip the TLDR because I want to read the full thing anyways. So it'd be a waste of time to read the TLDR. Starting right below that, though. Before this past weekend, I had heard nothing of Vicious Circle, but a quick stop by their Steam store shows the kind of chaotic fun that is promised, and it does deliver on that note. Though currently few in number, the survivors available on release are varying and entertaining, both visually and in terms of their loadout. And while the game is not as cutthroat as the page would suggest, your weapons don't actually damage the other players, there is a modest variety of power-ups that can be found that cause a few headaches for you, for your teammates rather. The biggest problem I have with these, however, is there is never time to be working together long enough to put together a backstab attempt. Every round I have played so far has started off with one of my fellow survivors going away within the first 30 seconds. This is not the end of the game for them because they get to turn into a wonderfully ugly little Spider-Man alien that can attempt to take over a living body. So when your character gets destroyed, you can turn into a monster, apparently. Interesting. A fantastic addition from a gameplay perspective, but it happens so fast that soon, usually 4 minutes into a round, everyone is a vengeful alien except one person running for his life from the boss monster. Wow, doesn't sound great. That takes me to my biggest point of why these rounds feel like such a difficult pace of gameplay than their trailers would suggest to expect. The only boss monster currently available in this game is a swollen, oversized alien chicken, which fits perfectly in with the theme of the game, but whose abilities are widely overpowered to the point of being ridiculous. The ability to see the survivors through walls at all times, unless they are crouching, is countered nicely with a pickup that acts as a decoy for this sense. But until you find one of these, you are stuck crouching around to avoid detection, or more likely, found within seconds and destroyed by one of the boss's other abilities, which is a one-hit KO with a ridiculously short cooldown. I could say that maybe a solution to the ability would be to lengthen the cooldown, but as I have found out in one particular round, you will never catch any of the survivors without the speed boost the charge provides, as they all have an escape perk unique to the survivor chosen and can lock the occasional door they go through. So by 4 minutes in, you have one survivor running for his life from the boss, but in doing so, showing the boss and the vengeful alien/ex-teammates exactly where he is at all times, with the aliens constantly taking the one survivor over and continuing to run from the boss until it's over, in which the round is done and the boss has won. That sounds pretty redundant, to be honest. If you are still with me at this point, you might feel confused as to why this review has a positive rating. The truth to that is everything I have mentioned above that gives me hesitation, I believe can be fixed with balance patches as the devs figure out where exactly stats need to be. They have all the right elements in there, and between their hard work and a player base ironing out a survivor meta, I think this game can have a silly arcade feel that makes it easy to pick apart and play, then wonder where the time went. Edited to correctly reference a developer post. So, starting with a positive review, and the op writes a lot of issues with the game, surprisingly enough for a positive review, as they mention. However, to be fair, he does present these issues with a good light by implying that they can be easy fixes in his opinion, and that he's hopeful that Rooster Teeth will listen, and that they'll fix it. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at the listening part. They seem to be very selective in when they listen and who they listen to, in my opinion. Another thing that's annoying is how it's so recurring these days that a company will release a video game and it will be in less than stellar condition at the beginning. They still ask for the full price for it, to which at least Vicious Circle is only $19.99. I've seen, AAA titles do this, where they release the product and it's really not complete. They sell it like it is, and then they patch it over the course of months. And by that point, people are not really interested in the game anymore, and they've paid full price for a product that's just subpar. And moving right along, now we have a negative review. Starting at the top, the op writes, concept is neat, but there are too many problems within the core game loop. Here are some details. Core game loop problems, game is very luck dependent. By that, it depends on how awful or good your teammates are as to whether you can even win as a mercenary. Even then, it's still heavily down to luck. If all the mercenaries except you are bad, there's no chance for the sole survivor to win, except pure luck. Even if the sole survivor does win, because there is no penalty to players losing, you instantly respawn and are able to take control of the last player. It then becomes a battle of who can take control at the last second. For example, basically all the work you do as a mercenary is pointless because of the fact that you constantly switch bodies. That does sound a bit annoying, I'll be honest, but continuing. The monster has a one-hit KO attack, but it is very easily evaded, which sounds okay on paper, but the sound design of the game means that you are relying on being able to hear a sudden surprise attack from the monster while being trumped by the 3 times louder voice actors that semi-randomly occur, as well as being bombarded and distracted by the monsters that can take over a host body. In other words, it sounds like there's a lot of audio issues. The little dippers that can take over bodies are way more mobile than the base characters, and also take several hits to destroy. You're constantly juggling equipment, and every other person who gets destroyed makes juggling equipment more tiresome, as the dippers will destroy your decoys, eat your mines, and ignore other equipment. You have to physically destroy them most of the time, which isn't possible when you have 3 of them bombarding you at all times. Technical problems. Sound design is awful. Well, we could assume that from what you wrote. Voiceovers are pointless and super loud, covering up other sounds which alert you to nearby monsters and such that are out of the line of sight, for example. Automatic movement mechanics hinder you more often than helping you. The game has built-in auto-climbing and vaulting mechanics, which sounds nice, but the problem is you will automatically climb every little piece of cover you bump into and try to move around, or try to jump into a doorway to evade, and then you end up climbing on top of it and getting mobbed. Awful mechanic. Players should only have their mobility options and not some automatic climbing system that takes away skill, while also hindering players. Matchmaking. The game put me in an empty lobby after 15 minutes of searching, so I alt-tabbed to my other monitor so I could browse while it filled up. Then it had the audacity to tell me that I was kicked for inactivity when I was waiting in an empty lobby. Of course I was inactive. I can't do anything at all because there's no one in the lobby. That sounds pretty funny. My recommended gameplay changes are make the dipper respawns much, much longer, and make them less mobile. Either that or take away their ability to see players at all times and make them search for you. Give them limited amounts of lives for the dippers and make them have to collect nuggets to refill a life. Give them some other tasks to do while they sneak around. They should be a lot less healthy. Any character that spots them should instantly be able to down them with a single attack. Monsters should also never have a one-hit KO instant attack unless it's some kind of super hard-to-hit skill. Right now, the charge is a giant AoE, area of effect, which also gives you a movement speed boost, meaning they can round a corner and instantly use it on you before you can even react. One more thing, overhaul the evacuation zone. It's terrible to fight a player for 15 seconds while trying to evacuate when they don't even have half the required nuggets, just for monsters to burst in and interrupt you when you're 1 second away. Players who don't have enough nuggets should not block the evacuation timer. Sure, they can knock you out or delay you, but outright blocking the zone indefinitely is terrible just so neither of you win and the monster gets a free win. That's awful design. Only looking at 2 reviews so far, although they're both pretty in-depth, and we can see some similarities. Even though one was positive and one was negative, there seems to be issues in the core gameplay mechanic, at least alluded to by both of these reviewers. The audio issues seem really annoying. We didn't really see complaints about that in the first review, but now let's take a look at some more. I'm going to take a look at some shorter reviews now, and we'll kind of, in Rooster Teeth terminology here, let's have the lightning round. Another positive review here reads, I don't know, man, it's fun for a couple of hours, but unless they implement a ranked system, it'll go away pretty soon, and even then it probably won't be enough. But if you are okay with a fun evening, but that's it, I guess I can recommend it, because I did have fun, and probably will a few more times, but it lacks a future as far as I see it. So this person is saying that it lacks a future, even though they've made a roadmap. As we've already discussed, roadmaps nowadays aren't exactly the most promising thing. I mean, it's difficult to even trust a roadmap nowadays, let alone actually look at it like a, actual plan that's going to happen for sure. And back to a negative review here. Let's take a look. Reads, I got the code for this, being a grandfathered Rooster Teeth first member, and after watching Achievement Hunter play this and playing some myself, it's kind of meh. So we can establish this person's definitely an RT fan, and, they're still willing to give it a negative review. There you go. Not all the RT fans are going to blindly support RT, and that's something I think RT should realize, should wake up to and realize. Or they realize it already and don't care, in which case that is highly embarrassing way to run a business. Anyways, continuing. Reads, I won 2 rounds, my first match mostly because of what felt like random chance. That correlates with some of the reviews we saw talking about it being very luck-based, in their opinion. Being the first Little Dipper to get enough hits onto a mercenary out of a pile of you, knocking another mercenary out of the teleport ring at the last second. As it holds its charge, it's not individually based, meaning you can just run in last second, mash melee, and just win. And just not feeling like any skill is really needed, or more importantly, rewarded. The monster might be more that style / sort of thing, but as a mercenary, it's just all over the place. I'm pretty bummed, actually. I wasn't expecting a ton, considering I don't really see any advertising for this game, besides a few weeks before it was released, and that was on Rooster Teeth's site. But it absolutely doesn't feel like a $20 game. Maybe $10, but even that is a bit high, when it really does not hold the attention much. If perhaps you use the Little Dipper to destroy another mercenary and revive yourself as your chosen character, rather than take over theirs, so it'd feel like you could master one character, or the monster was, or if the monster wasn't so overpowered, and this is apparently after they nerfed it. Wow. So they already had to nerf it and it's still OP? But hey, if it's on sale and you like the sort of repetitive gameplay or want to play it with a group, then maybe, but definitely not at $20. And right back to a positive review. This one reads, it is fun, but it's also kind of boring. I always love giving Rooster Teeth my money, but this needs some work and balancing, especially with being the Lil Dippers. And the creatures need a huge nerf. If we can't beat them in a one-on-one fight, why the heck can they run around as fast as us and be able to predict our escape ability? Also, really, guys, required tutorial before you play? I thought we were past this. When you present a tutorial before play, you set a track for the players to follow. If you give them tools and game mechanics to figure out on their own, players could develop unique uses and tactical moves for the tools and game mechanics. I want to recommend this game because I love Rooster Teeth, but I can't recommend the game in its current state. But it clearly has a lot of love and effort put into it. I'll recommend it for now. Wait, you said you can't... Wait, what? I want to recommend this game because I love Rooster Teeth, but I can't recommend this game in its current state. I'll recommend it for now. Well, there you go. It's the kind of person who will support Rooster Teeth. This person literally says they love giving Rooster Teeth their money. And, well, you can, make your own opinion on this person. I can't recommend this game in its current state, but it's clearly got a lot of love and effort put into it. I'll recommend it for now. I can't recommend this game. I'll recommend it for now. Okay, moving on. Longtime supporter of Rooster Teeth, but this game is terrible. The gameplay is horrible, and seeing there is a store coming, I bet it's just going to be a cash grab, pay-to-win game soon. Save your money and buy anything else. Negative review. Another negative review reads, play class with invincibility / invisibility, horde decoy, avoid everything, win. Eliminated early, wait. Steal someone's work, win. It's a bad version of Kane and Lynch's multiplayer. Sound quality is bad on character voices. Loud, obnoxious, stream bait. Not enjoyable. Might level out later on. Right now, no thank you. I will stick with the memories. Negative review. Not a bad start, but the main monster is overpowered and there really isn't a point to the game. The battle pass isn't any additional content. It's literally the game sectioned off based on level progress, and the rewards are very weak and uninspiring. Good start, but not quite there yet. Negative review. The game just isn't fun. It just feels like it should still be in early development with one creature that is broken as heck. You literally just hit shift, going through a doorway, you know the enemy is behind, and you get a free elimination. If there's only one character left, it's just becoming a cluster, you know what, as everyone just ganks him/her with its tentacles, like it's Japan or something. What? I've seen the Survivor win once out of like 5 rounds, and it was me playing like a noob. If the time to destroy was increased, and if it was more team focused, I feel like this could be a fun co-op game, but it's not. Just that free-for-all, just a messy free-for-all game that doesn't even give you rewards for playing good as a survivor because it only takes 2 hits to get your character and progress stolen. The game is not worth the buy in its current state. Could get better. Kind of similar to the last guy with the could get better thing. And a final negative review to take a look at here, and this one's a little bit on the longer side, so I figured it would be a good one to have near the end, kind of coming full circle, so to speak. So let's take a look. This one reads, "This game has so much potential, but some major balancing issues take away all of that. In its current state, I don't think that anyone who pays 15 euros on or around about $20 USD will be satisfied. TLDR, chicken needs more balancing. I feel that will solve most of the issues I have with the game at present. I feel like that's satire." Let's see. Continuing. "With the small amount of times I got to have a go with the mechanics in game, I really enjoyed it. I don't think there is much wrong with the mechanics. There are abilities you can pick up off the ground that you can choose to use to help you escape monsters or use to steal nuggets from your, quote, teammates. So you have quite a lot of choices of what to do. There may be times where you need to work together in order for a chance to win the game. However, which means your actions could determine whether the chicken wins or someone else. Like I said, the mechanics are interesting, and this is not what leads me to a negative review. As of the time of writing, the chicken is really, really powerful. There is almost no chance of destroying it. To be fair to the game, the more times I played the game, the more ways I found of escaping it. But if you make one tiny mistake, you are most likely gone. I don't think the chicken is as OP as some people are claiming, but it definitely needs some balancing. Because of this powerful monster, games tend to be really, really short. Short games are not always bad, but if the chicken is short, but if the game is short, because one side is completely destroying the other, then something needs to be changed. I'm like, dude, the chicken it's chicken. It's already going to be small. Totally my fault. Continuing on. I still have high hopes for this game, but I just can't recommend it in its current state. Come back in maybe a month or so, maybe even less, and I'm sure they would have solved some of the issues. Don't be so sure about that. People are having and make it more enjoyable. I would be happy to change my review to a positive one when this happens." So we'll see. We'll see. There's a recurring theme with these reviews, as you may have noticed, and that is a lot of them, the negative and the positive ones, show promise for the future. But in 2019, I'm sorry, I'm skeptical of any positive outlook from a gaming company in 2019, to be honest. We have just been taken full advantage of by so many gaming companies, some that were highly esteemable. BioWare used to be amazing. Bethesda used to be amazing, etc., etc. We could go on and on and on. So a lot of these people think it shows promise, though. I'm skeptical. A lot of them talk about the audio issues as well. Not all of them, but a lot did say that the audio is terrible. Said that the gameplay gets repetitive after a while, which is not necessarily detrimental to the game. I mean, you have like Fortnite, which is pretty repetitive, and that's done pretty well. I know we don't want to talk about Fortnite, but just an example. There are other games that are repetitive that have done really well, too. Now, some could be more repetitive than others. For example, Fortnite, we're not going to talk about this a lot, but Fortnite, the game can be different depending on where you land and all that sort of stuff, but still repetitive. This might be even more repetitive, though. That's all I'm saying. Different levels of repetition. The monster has a broken AoE one-shot mechanic, so there's that. I guess like the main monster. And losing your character makes progressing that character and like gearing them up completely pointless. So those are some of the common complaints that I noticed from these reviews, but let me know what you thought of these reviews in the comments below. Positive, negative, what's your outlook? What do you think about the people's outlook here? And do you think Rooster Teeth should be treated in the light that they might indeed actually make some positive updates for this game, or should we be skeptical? What do you think about all that? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe if you're not, and turn that notification bell on as well so your subscription can actually work. And now some shoutouts for the wonderful people who helped promote my videos from yesterday, because we had 2 of them and I didn't give shoutouts in the second video since it was so close to the first upload. And also, my friends, I have a great update. Apparently my system's working again now, so I can see all of the Twitter notifications. It's wonderful. Shouts out to Lancaster Kid, Brandon Mayo, LSSJ Victoria, Princess Usagi, Random Fandom, Nightmare 13, that one Slimy Kintama fanboy, Samantha Miyu, Richard Eagle, Rosie Chan, Mr. Anime 343, and Buttercup Chan. And for the second video, we have Scarlet DMC, Random Fandom, Yakaji 33, Mr. Anime 343, that's coincidental, Buttercup Chan again, Dark Lord of the Sith, Clovis, A Shot of Whiskey, and no one important. Well, thank you. You're important to me, buddy. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for your assistance. And that's it for this one. Patreon, PayPal, Teespring, links all in the description. Discord link down there as well, open to the public. It'd be awesome to see you there. And again, that's it for this one. I'll catch you next time.
Don't take him lightly.